Hey everybody, how are we doing? Man, my phone is blowing up. Just as I'm getting ready to start, my phone starts blowing up. And what in the world? It's some of y'all commenting in saying, "Hey, I'm here, I'm here." Good to see everybody. Happy Friday, first Friday of March, and so we're already in March of 2020. How about that? 2021. Sorry, 20. Part of my brain's still stuck in 2020. That's a hell of a place to be. So how is everybody? If you're in the chat, go ahead and pop yourself in the chat there. Let me see you. I see Cecil. Cecil, how you doing? I'm doing well, man. I'm doing really good. Vanderhoff, 66FU. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yes, my Kiss Destroyer, my Walmart special Kiss Destroyer I got, I think, last year. And I don't know if you've seen them, but they got the Love Gun Tour 76, 77 shirts in Walmart. And I've been seeing a whole bunch of people talking about having those shirts and where they're available. And they've picked them up some. I've looked for them at my Walmart and they're not there. And I tell you what, tomorrow I'm going to go riding around in my car to like the 4 or 5 different Walmarts that's in my area. And I'm going to see if I can find me one of those new Walmart Love Gun 76, 77, whatever Tour 77 shirts. And then I got to find one in a 2X because I'm a big boy. Good to see you, James Dean, Kiss Army Rocks, Timmy Faye, How Link, Eels Curb. Good to see you. Happy Friday to you guys. Thanks. I'm glad you liked the shirt. And talking about me losing weight, I have actually lost 30 pounds since Christmas. I'm down 30 pounds, and I'm going to continue to go down. I'm still over 300, believe it or not. Still over 300 pounds. And I know good God, that's fat. But I'm working down to wanting to lose about another 70, 80 pounds from where I am right now. So don't know if you've noticed, but if you've seen my videos in the past, got my Kiss blocks here in the back. And just to show you what we're going to have today, we are lining them up in this video the way it is on the first album. So be looking for the Kiss blocks up here in the upper left-hand corner. So we're going to have Paul in the left, beside him, Peter, beside him, Gene, and beside him, Ace, just like on the front cover of the first Kiss album. And you'll be seeing those getting moved around in different ways while I do different videos. And I'll be sure to kind of point those out to you. And yes, I don't know if I'm planning on making a video about these, but my wife made these for me. And when Peter leaves, boom, we got Eric. And there's an S there because you can put these together and make them say the word Kiss. And let's put Peter back. And Ace leaves. There's Vinny. So my wife made these for me. She's quite crafty. She made them for me. And I really appreciate it. And I told her I'd show them off until you guys got sick of them. All right. So Paul Stanley, Live to Win. So let's talk about, thank you, Cecil. I'll tell her you said that. Let's talk about Paul Stanley, Live to Win. So I think, let me pull up my notes here. This came out in 2006. This was his follow-up to his 1978 solo album. And just before we get, since this is a live show, I want you guys to be interactive with me. What did you guys think about this album? Have any of you listened to it before you voted in on the panel? If some of you, did you vote in on the panel? And did you listen to this album before the panel? Did you like this album, or do you like this album, or had you never heard it before? And after listening to it, you don't like it, or you listened to it and you didn't like it initially, but the more you listen to it, you liked it, or you listened to it and you loved it and you think it's the greatest thing that he's ever done. So good to see you, Andy. If you ever get Kiss Set the World on Fire CDs on Amazon, please do a review of it on YouTube. All right, Andy, I'll remember that. Kiss Army rocks. Good to see you. I'm going to put your comments up here since you guys are commenting. Vanderhoff 66 said, saw him in tour, New York City, great show. I think he made a live. Didn't he make one live night or one last kiss or something like that? I think that's his next album he did. This that was released and since. Kiss Army says, Live to Win album was incredible. I'm sure of listening to the album for more than 100 times. Eels Curb, I have the album. Can't remember if this was made before or after Paul blew out his voice. It seemed like it was before, because to me on this album, his voice is still really strong. I think he might have blew his voice out on the tour after this. Cecil says it's one of those records I can take or leave. James Dean says, you bringing up Live to Win made me enjoy it all over again. Forgot about it for a while. That's awesome. I heard a lot of people say that they love these about the panel because they get to listen to albums they've not listened to in a while. Oh, and Timmy Faye, I hate I missed your earlier punch. Timmy Faye said not very strong. And Vanderhoff said, I like the album, but it needed more punch. So my thoughts on the album, 10 tracks, and this album came out in 2006, and I could tell Paul borrowed very heavily, in my opinion, from late 90s rock and early 2000s rock. And during this time in the early 2000s, I'd remarried, and I was really heavily involved in my church. And I was going to one of those really progressive churches, and we had a really huge youth section, and I went on a lot of youth trips, and we went and saw bands like Pillar and Disciple and these heavy metal rock Christian bands. And a lot of this stuff kind of sounds like very Pillar-ish, sounds like a Pillar. And if you've never heard of Pillar, they're a Christian, heavy metal Christian band along with Disciple. Disciple's a little heavier. And it sounds like that style of music, like a 10-year encapsulation from 95 to 2005. A lot of rock music that was made during that time sounds a lot like what is on Paul's album. And what doesn't sound that way sounds like overproduced romance songs, ballads, power ballads. And then some of it just sounds like it's almost like what I call high class rock and roll, like intellectual rock and roll, where you really see Paul's kind of uppity side coming out in his music, kind of like you see with Soul Station coming out. Paul, very up class, uppity type music. And that's just the general feel I got about this whole album. Very 90s, 2000s, and just very well produced, very well performed. Paul sounds great. His vocals sound great. Now, this is, I believe, before he blew his voice out, and he just sounds really, really good on this. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Until I put this on the panel and started listening to it, I had not ever heard this album, period. I've probably listened to this album about 30 times, about 10 to 15 times before I made my list, and then about 10 to 15 times after I made my list, two or three times a day, just kind of whenever I've never listened to an album before, I really try to absorb myself and submerge myself into the album. And that's what I really like to do. So I really give myself that album a fair chance. And James Dean distracted me. Lift is my favorite also. I was just singing it in my head just now. And it's funny because y'all, I don't know how many of you guys are Family Guy fans, fans of the show Family Guy, but there's an episode where he talks about how he always, whenever somebody says the name of a movie in the show, it's like, this is clear and present danger. And he's like, he said it. He's in the movie theater going, he said it. So me and my wife, we have this thing. We'll be watching a show and we'll be watching TV or watching and somebody will be talking and they'll say something. And I was thinking in my head, da, 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 and me and my wife will look at each other and go, they said it. They said it. So we do that. We do that a lot. What's up, Sublime? Good to see you. Good to see you. And Timmy Faye, love Family Guy. I love Family Guy too. I like watching Family Guy. It's amazing the things they've gotten away with on that show. But yeah, so this album, like I said, it was one I'd never listened to before, and I won't say that I won't ever listen to it again. I don't hate this album. It's one that I'll probably return to every once in a while. I'll be honest with you, I'd probably listen to this album before I listen to Gene's A-Hole album again. And I'll probably listen to this album before I listen to some of Peter's albums again. And just go ahead and let you know, just so you guys know while you're here, that the next album that we are going to be doing is Peter Criss's One for All. That's the next album we're going to be doing as far as the Kiss track versus track goes. Or not track versus track, but Kiss, The Panel Has Spoken goes for the solo albums. That is the next one that we're going to be doing. And I swear to you, we will get through it together. We will get through it together. I swear to you that we will. Sublime, no. That's great. That's great. Sublime, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to, man. I know that you're in on like every single one that I do. So I hate to put you through it, but man, I'm a completist. I got to be fair to Peter, got to get his last one in. And then we just got aces to do. We got plenty of aces to do after that. Good luck getting the One for All. I may nap listening to it. Hey, but if you need it to nap, it's good. It might be good napping music. So all right, let's go ahead and talk about Live to Win. I've got my sheet here. Talk about you guys. We had 23 on this panel. We had myself, and from YouTube, we had Hard Rock Reverie, Jesse Ray, Joel Pegg, James Dean, Roger Bennett, John O, Super Kiss 1300, Kanan Haywood, Sublime 130, Emily Graziano. From Twitter, we had Tony Rod, Tom Dust, Darren Helliwell, David King, Bill Sharp, Steve Hardy, Jack Skellington, Eric Mosiu. From Instagram, we had AJ Zetro, 1975. From Facebook, Matt Ucci, Richard Buffett, and Dale Jones. So there's 23 of us on this. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this is going to seem kind of weird, but I did not do predictions on this at all because I had no freaking clue. I had no clue what you guys were going to pick. And I do my predictions before I start looking at, once I start listening to the album and before I start looking at and tallying up the votes, I do my predictions. And my predictions probably would have ended up looking exactly like, it probably would have looked exactly like my picks because I don't know what you guys, I may be thinking that you guys probably maybe picked Live to Win kind of high, maybe picked Lift kind of high. Other than that, I don't know because I know that those are songs that we'll see how I like them in the thing, but I don't know. So I just didn't do predictions. So basically you're just going to have me saying, what we're basically going to do is it's going to be a little bit different format for this. I hope that you guys can follow it along, and I know you're all educated people. But basically what I'm going to do is just say what you guys picked for the track, and then I'm going to tell you where I picked that song that you picked. I'm going to tell you where I picked it personally. So that we're leaving out a segment with me making predictions. So it may make this one go a little fast, but if it does, and we get done before the 45 minutes or whatever, before the hour's over, maybe I can take some questions. I can show my wife's kiss blocks off again. Or we can, and I also got to tell you about what we got coming up on the channel. So 10 tracks. So let's get started. Track number 10 with track number 10. It feels weird not saying what my prediction is. Track number 10, you guys picked Every Time I See You Around with 65 points for Every Time I See You Around. You picked Every Time I See You Around last at number 10. I picked, for me personally, I picked Every Time I See You Around at number 8. I think it's not a bad song. There's not a song on here that I don't like. There's not a song on here that makes me go, ugh. I like all these songs. I love some of them. But maybe only about the top 3 or 4 songs I love. The rest of them I like. And then the very last 2 are kind of like, meh, okay. They're not that great. But I don't hate them. So, yeah, you guys picked for number 10, Every Time I See You Around with 65 points. I pick Every Time I See You Around at number 8 for me. So I like it a little better than you guys do. Okay. All right. So, and you guys can comment in here what you think about the songs as we talk about them. You can comment what you like and what you don't like. For number 9 with 76 points, you guys picked for number 9, Wake Up Screaming. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I messed that up. Hold on just a second. I messed this up. Okay. Hold on a second. I need to do something. I need to fix this. All right. Here's what I need to do. This is a draft, and I made this, and then I just need to get rid of this. I just need to look at what I got on my screen. And this is, if I was doing this recorded, I'd be like, cut, start over. So that's the thing about lives. Makes me look horrible, but hey, at least we get to hang out and have fun together. So let's start over. You guys did not pick that song for number 10. All right, so let's back up. For number 10 with 65 points, you picked Loving You Without You Now. For number 10, 65 points, the panel picked Loving You Without You Now at number 10. I picked Loving You Without You Now for me at number 8. I had the list reversed on my original sheet. So you guys picked Loving You Without You Now at number 10 with 65. I picked it at number 8. I liked it a little bit better than you do. Loving You Without You Now is one of those songs that would have been a great love song, but it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that whole Loving You Without You Now, it's a good song, but some of his, I just think on some of these, he was just trying too hard, or he was trying to be at an intellectual level above what he thinks that we're above. And that just song, although I like different elements of it because I picked it at 8 and it's a song that I like, I just felt like it was just almost like, okay, it was one of those songs I'm like, this is a good song, but I think he was trying a little too hard. So you guys picked Loving You Without You Now for number 10. I picked that for number 8 for me. So the next song you picked at number 9 with 76 points is Second to None. Second to None. You picked it for number 9 for you. I picked Second to None for me. Somebody outside setting their alarm off in their car. Now they're not setting their alarm off in their car. I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbors sound like their alarm was going off in their car. Where were we? Oh, Second to None. You guys picked Second to None at 76. That would have been cut out too. I would have done that over too. Second to None. You guys picked it at 76. I picked it at number 7. You picked it at 9 with 76. I picked it at number 7 for me. Second to None is just another one of those songs where I felt like he was trying too hard. I felt like he was trying too hard. Some of these songs, it sounded like Paul being Paul. And some of these songs, it sounded like Paul trying to be something that he's not. And he just didn't sound comfortable in some of these songs to me. And yes, and at least his voice wasn't shrill. That is the truth. He did not. His voice didn't sound tired. His voice didn't sound tired. His voice did not sound shrill. He didn't try to swing from the rafters. He even sang in his lower register in some of these songs. He started off very low, and even when he got high, he wasn't shrill or swinging from the rafters. I agree with you on that, James Dean. So the next one, let me take Exactly Sublime down. I don't know how long that's been up there. Who knows? Who knows how this all live stuff works? I'll go ahead and put that one up. Oh my gosh, guys, you get to see what a basket case I can be sometimes. All right, so number 8 with 109 points, getting into the hundreds. You picked for number 8 with 109 points, Every Time I See You Around. And I picked Every Time I See You Around for me as number 10. And that really says something because I like Every Time I See You Around. It's just, it actually is a really good song, but I like 9 songs better. So that just kind of to show you that that all these songs on this album I think are good. So Every Time I See You Around is 10 for me. Every Time I See You Around is 8 for you guys. So number 7 with 120 points, jumping up about 10 or 11 points. Number 7 is you guys pick All About You. And I like All About You a lot. I actually picked All About You, number 5 for me. That's one of those high energy driven 90-ish, early to mid 2000-ish type songs that Paul sounded really good, really comfortable. This isn't a Kiss album. There isn't anything on here I think that really sounds like Kiss. Even maybe some of the ballads. But there's nothing on here that really sounds like Kiss. And the scary thing is, even though Paul hated Carnival of Souls, there's a lot of stuff on here that it sounds very close to Carnival of Souls-ish in idea and in not necessarily the way it sounds, like the way it was engineered or recorded, but just the way that the songs are constructed and the way that the songs are laid out. And it's very akin, like a second or third cousin to Carnival of Souls. It's like he took some of that late or early to mid 90s grunge from the 90s and made this album with it. And in the mid 2006, and in the middle of the first decade of the 2000s. So that's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. That's just my opinion. So yeah, you guys picked It's All About You for number 7. I picked It's All About You as number 5 for me. Yes, me too, Cecil. I love Carnival of Souls. I can agree with you on that 100%. Love, love, love Carnival of Souls. One of my favorite Kiss albums. All right, so that brings us up to number 6. Jumping up to 131 points. Number 6, you guys chose It's Not Me. And I really like It's Not Me. It's Not Me is one of my love songs. It's Not Me is right up there at number 3 for me. You guys picked it for number 6 for you. I picked It's Not Me for number 3. It's just one of those songs that just kicks ass. It rocks. It's a Paul Stanley rocker song. It sounds like Paul Stanley and very heavily, once again, very heavily late 90s, early 2000s influenced, but it's a great song. And so you guys picked it for 7, or you guys picked it for 6, and I picked it for number 3. So that brings us up to number 5. Number 5, with just a couple more points than number 6, 133 points. For number 5, you guys picked Lift. And Lift is my favorite song on this album. I freaking love Lift. Lift, the number 2 song that's yet to be said yet, and It's Not Me are my 3. I would own this album just for those 3 songs. I really love those 3 songs. Those are my love songs on this album. So I think Lift is great. You guys picked it at number 5 with 133. I picked it at number 1 for me on my list. There you go. Kiss On Me rocks. It's Not Me says It's Not Me is killer. James Dean said, dang, Lift should be number 1. A lot of people voted for that as their number 1. All right. So that brings us up to the top 4. So with 142 points, jumping up 9 points to number 4, with 142 points, you guys chose Where Angels Dare. Where Angels Dare is my number 2. So my top 3 loves Lift, Where Angels Dare, and It's Not Me. Those 3 songs right there kick ass. I don't care who you are. Those 3 songs kick ass. They're good Paul Stanley songs. They would have been good Kiss songs for a Kiss album put out in that era. That I could see those songs being on Psycho Circus or Sonic Boom. Paul had blew his voice out by the time Sonic Boom came along. You hear it very strained by the time Sonic Boom comes along. And like I said, I think he hurt his voice sometime during this tour for this album, the tour, the support, or he had to have surgery at some point in time. It's never been, I don't think it's ever really been confirmed. But so yeah, you guys chose number 4, Where Angels Dare. Where Angels Dare for me is number 2. That is a badass song. I like it a lot. In the words of Lloyd Christmas, I like it a lot. All right. So that brings us to number 3 for you guys. 147 points, 5 points higher, 147 points. This is where we're going to disagree just a little bit. Well, we disagreed a little bit before on this panel, but we're going to disagree a little bit here. You guys chose, for your number 3, you chose Bulletproof with 147 points. Bulletproof fell a little for me. Bulletproof for me is down around number 6. And it isn't that I don't like it. It's just that it's 5 songs I like more. And those top 3 really kick ass. And 4 and 5 for me are really good too. Bulletproof is where it starts to fall to the I like it, but meh. And then it gets to the bottom 2, and the bottom 2 are meh. They're okay, but I don't skip them. I don't not like them. But you guys really like Bulletproof with 147 points. So, yeah, Bulletproof, number 3 for you, number 6 for me. Okay. I'm going to just throw these comments in because I'm having to read off my Excel sheet and I'm having to take your comments away. Where Angels Dare is great, Sublime. I totally agree. Totally agree. All right, so that brings us to the top 2. And the top 2 basically, number 2 jumps from 147 to 170. So the top, and there's only 2 points between number 2 and number 1. So you guys really liked these top 2 songs, 30 points above the others. So with 170 points, you guys chose for number 2 the title track, Live to Win. And I can hear that when I hear Live to Win, and I hear that live, win. I hear that in my head when I hear this song in my head. I said it. Live to Win for me is number 4. It's one of my I like it songs. It's not a love song. It's I like it. It's right outside my top 3. So Live to Win number 4 for me. Live to Win with 170 points is number 2 for the panel. Bulletproof. Let's see. Let's pull some things up here. Andy Hargraves, and it's 10 CDs and it's live of Kiss, Set the World on Fire. And then James Dean said Bulletproof for those 70s background singers. And hey, Glam, nice to see you. There's 80s Metal Glamcast. If you haven't checked out their podcast, be sure to check out, support them, and check out and listen to their stuff. Man, they got some good stuff. They promote me a lot of stuff on a lot of things when I'm doing my 80s glam stuff. They promote me over on their channel quite a bit. So be sure to give 80s Metal Glamcast, 80s Glam Metalcast, give them some love on Instagram and over on YouTube as well. Yes, I agree, Cecil. Great channel for sure. All right, so that brings us to the number 1. And if you guys were playing along at home, you saw that this is one that I really wouldn't have, if I'd have made a prediction, which I didn't, I would have predicted probably, like I said, Live to Win to be high. I would not have predicted the winner on this one. 172 points you guys chose as the winner. Wake Up Screaming. Wake Up Screaming is number 9 for me. It's one of those songs I'm just like, meh, it's okay. It's all right. I don't hate it, but it's not in my top 5 and at all. But that's what these panels are for. It's very 2000 rock. Live to Win is very 2000s rock. And every time I see you around, I could see what you said, 80s metal or 80s glam metalcast. It every time I see you around fell real low for me, but it's not because I didn't like it. It's just because I had other songs I liked for it. But every time I see you around could have been a hit for him. There's several songs on this album that could have been a hit. Could have been a hit for Paul. So I'm going to talk about my list, and then I'm going to talk about the panel's list. So this is how my list played out. My picks in this order, I chose Lift for me, number 1. Where Angels Dare, number 2. It's Not Me, number 3. Live to Win for number 4. All About You for number 5. Bulletproof at 6. Second to None at 7. Loving You Without You at number 8. Wake Up Screaming at 9. And Every Time I See You Around at 10. And like I said, the top 3, love. 4 through 8 or 9, I like them. And the last 2 are they're meh. They're okay songs. But I could see how Every Time I See You Around would be a hit, because it's one of those songs, if I was to do this list a month from now, Every Time I See You Around would probably raise up, because the more I listened to it, the more I liked it, even though it's still 10 on my list. Now, you guys' list, the panel, this is officially what you chose. We'll do your list in reverse. Number 10, y'all chose Loving You Without You Now, which is just a weird title for me. Number 9, Second to None. Number 8, Every Time I See You Around. Number 7, All About You. Number 6, It's Not Me. Number 5, Lift, which I thought that should have been higher. Number 4, Where Angels Dare. That song kicks ass. Bulletproof at number 3. Number 2, Live to Win. And number 1, Wake Up Screaming. So that is the official vote on that's the official vote that you picked, the panel picked for Paul Stanley Live to Win. So what do we have coming up next? We already talked about it earlier. Going to bring it back up. Boom. Peter Criss. One for all. Come on, guys. We can. I'm gonna hold my hands out here. Hold them up. We can get through it. We can get through. We can get through this. We can get through it. We at least need to, we need to do this for posterity's sake. We've done it for everybody else's albums. We're going to do it for all of Ace's albums. We need to do it. We need to get through all of Peter's for the posterity of doing all of them. And 80s Male Glamcast said that. I agree. Where his voice started to slip, where his voice declined. And you don't really hear it too much on the album, but at least I didn't. I didn't hear it. I thought he sounded good. You could definitely hear it by the time he got to Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom, as soon as it starts, and it starts Delilah, and he's like, across the room. And I'm like, oh, I remember the very first time I heard it, I'm like, what the hell is that? And I just remember thinking, man, this is not good. and even on the next track, Never Enough, he just sounded like he was struggling. Now, Gene sounded great. Gene still sounds great, but it's going to take a lot of courage. You know what, Cecil? I actually have heard this album before, and I know that it is not that great in many a Kiss fan's eye. It is not that great. But I'm going to really dig deep, as deep as I can, and I'm going to try to find some nuggets. I don't know what the nuggets are going to be of. They might be some nuggets of poop. Probably a lot of nuggets of poop. But I'm going to give his album a chance. I'm going to give this album a chance. So we will make it through it. We will make it through it. It's a support group. We'll have a support group, and we'll make it through Peter's. And then we will have Aces. We will be taken back up on Ace, and we'll have some fun. Have I done the Vinnie Vincent Invasion albums already? I think so. I'll have to look back through, James. James is asking this question. Have I done the Vinnie Vincent Invasion albums already? James, I'll have to look back through that and make sure. I know that I've done the first one, but if I haven't done the second one, I think I've done the second one. But I'll let you know. If just keep a look on my social media, and if I haven't done it, we'll do it. But I think I've done. I think I've done both of them, if I'm not mistaken. You can look back through my channel. If you go to my YouTube channel and you go to videos and you scroll down, they're listed. You can list them from newest to oldest. And if you scroll back, you'll probably see them. You'll probably see them in there somewhere. I know we've done the first one, and I think we've done All Systems Go. I do believe now that I think about it, that we've done them both. So I think the only solo albums I have left to do on the track versus track is, I'm not on track versus track, but on the panel is for Peters and then for Aces, to finish Aces out. So yeah, this is a good thing, talking about Paul's voice. I agree with that, Cecil. When you hear his voice act up on records, you know it's bad. They fix a lot with studio trickery. Because I remember hearing on a couple of those albums, on Modern Day Delilah, when he gets to the end of it, big mistake. I mean, his voice literally cracks like mine. And I'm like, okay, one, why didn't they fix that? Two, the most important question is, if his voice is that shot, why the hell are they letting him do it? But who produced those albums? Mr. Paul Stanley. All right, so Paul's going to do what he wants. All right, so so that's the next thing is Peter. And let me look at my YouTube page here. The next track versus track, and I'm actually filming it with the lovely Carla on Monday evening, So it will be out a week from today. A week from today, we will have the lovely Carla and myself will be doing the track versus track for Kiss Animalize against Music from the Elder. So a week from today, track versus track, Music from the Elder versus Animalize. This coming Wednesday next week, we will have Skid Row. And it said to get your votes in by the end of March the 1st, but I have not. I know it's March the 5th. I've not begun tabulating. So if you have not got your votes in for Skid Row, doing your tracks for Skid Row, jump over to my YouTube, any of my social media, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Jump over there and put your list in for Skid Row, the first Skid Row album. Put your list in for that. And then sometime the week after, probably Monday, not this coming Monday, but next Monday, we're going to have, it'll be another, and Skid Row will be a live video. And then Monday night, we will have a live, and it will be for Alice in Chains' Dirt. And Alice in Chains' Dirt, it said it ended on March the 2nd. But once again, I've not begun to tabulate those votes yet. I'd say it'd be safe. You're going to have until maybe Tuesday. So if you want to go ahead and start, get your votes in on those. If you have not, go ahead and do that. And be looking for the Peter Criss post to come up sometime this weekend to go ahead and start getting your list in for Peter Criss. Okay? All right. So that's what we got. So we got, I'll be filming a track versus track, Animalize, Music from the Elder. And then we're going to have Skid Row. And then we'll have Alice in Chains. All right. That is it. That's what I've got. All right. Let's see let me catch up on some of these tracks, Monster Super Rough on the vocals. Yes, it is. I'm a Monster Super Rough. Fire and Water was good. Paul and Ace. Love both Animalize and the Elder. The Elder may be better. I might agree with you on that, Sublime. On 80s Glam. I might agree with you on that. I say I dig Animalize more than Elder. All right, Sublime. Them Bones. I know, man. Dirt is a great album. Elder is hit and miss for me. Had Enough from Animalize. To me, Epic sounded very underrated. Kiss. Paul's vocals were unbelievable on. I've Had Enough. I agree. More effort went to the Elder. And that's it. So, guys, that's all for me, unless you guys got any questions. I'm going to show my Kiss blocks off again because I just love these things so stinking much. And y'all going to be like, man, we're tired of seeing those blocks. But I know some of you may not have seen them. So I'm going to show you my blocks that my wife did. So let me get them in order. So they're just these blocks that you can buy at like the craft store. And they're actually designed, they're dice. But she paints them. She paints them and distresses them. She paints them and she does like all this distress work to them. And so then she painted Kiss on them and put the bling on them. You see those rhinestones? Kind of a la the first Kiss album. And then if you turn them, you can actually, and I'm going to put them in the order of the first album. So we're going to have Paul, and then we're going to have Peter, and then we're going to have Gene, and then we're going to have Ace. Just like that. So, in the order of the first Kiss album. And then check this out. Check this out. After Peter left, oh no. Yep. And then after Ace left, there you go. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Then we can do this, and we can do this, and we can put scab. That's true. That's true. My wife actually asked me, she's like, well, who's the guys in the bands now? Do you want me to paint their faces? I was like, no, because you'd have to paint Ace really far down because he'd have to have a big fat forehead. And you'd have to paint Peter's side really wide, side to side, because he'd have to have a really wide, fat face. So just don't bother. Don't bother doing it. Just keep them like that. Just keep them like that. So yeah. So I told her not to bother. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I was telling the people earlier, keep an eye up here in the upper right hand corner of your screen, beside the sock and beside the turd. Keep an eye up here in your upper right hand corner of the screen, because these are going to be set up different ways, and it's usually going to be set up for whatever album you might see here. I usually have Kiss in the front, but if you see a different album here than Kiss, then there's going to be a very good chance that these are set up in that particular way also. So, somebody else asked me also, Frankenstein, maybe Frankenstein. Somebody else also that they really liked seeing my Kiss cards, and they wish that I'd feature my Kiss cards more in videos, even though I made a video. So let's just pick a random card. I'm just going to scroll through here. I've got the original. I've got the original Donruss set, the first set, and these are in mint shape. So since we're doing Paul, let's find a Paul one. I try not to handle these too much, but this is a good one. This is a good one right here. Card number 35. Card number 35. There you go. Card number 35. Look at those edges. This thing even smells new. Crisp, clean, sharp edges. No yellowing whatsoever. Number 1, right off the bat. Number 1. Action shot, Mr. Paul. See, when do we get to another Paul? How far do we have to go? One more Paul Stanley for the road. Number 6. Card number 6. It's not focusing that great, but you get the gist. And I have a video. If you want to see all of these, I have a video of me showing all of them off. And I am eventually going to, whenever I can get some time on the big table in the dining room, I am going to lay these out and do the puzzle on the back and just kind of have a nice little putting the puzzle together while I'm talking. And because there's a puzzle on the back. And I want to put the puzzle together for you guys and talk for you guys, because some people have, they like to see people putting puzzles together and talking about Kiss. And so I'm going to put these together. And I've put this series together. My cards that I had when I was a kid, I had so many sets of them, because I talk about this in one of my videos too, where we used to go up to the Little General convenience store. We used to go up there and play Tron, and we would get these. We'd play the Tron video game, and we'd get these cards, and then we'd go set out on the curve on the side of the building, and we'd open them up, and we would trade cards. And I had so many of these sets that I had some of them in a shoebox, And some of them, one of my sets, I actually put together and then taped it all together, like took Scotch tape and taped all the pieces together into the puzzle and hung it up on my wall. So yeah, but this is, I like I said, I keep them sealed because, I mean, they still smell. That smell is just amazing. It takes me, I smell that, and it instantly takes me back to being 8 years old, 9 years old, collecting those cards instantly like that. And just things like this, like Cecil put, I used to get these at a local candy shop in my neighborhood as a little kid. I have a few left. Lena Lee's Candy. She made her house the candy store. That is awesome. I can see that in my head, Cecil. I can hear that story, and that's amazing. I love when you guys share stories like that. I just love sitting around talking KISS with you guys. I really do. This is really the highlight of my week. One of my highlights. I get in here in my KISS room, and I look at my stuff, and I look over some stuff before I get started up with you guys. And then I get to come on here for, 1 to 2 times a week and just talk KISS or talk 80s metal to you, or talk, going to be starting to talk some 90s metal and stuff. And I just really love doing this. And I'm glad that you guys join me every week. There's some of you, man, y'all are here. Y'all are on every panel. Y'all are at every broadcast. Y'all watch and comment on every video, and it just humbles me. I was talking to my wife about it the other day when I was like, these people are like my friends. It's like people that I've never met that I'd like to meet someday. I'd like to have an opportunity to meet. I was talking to her about maybe once conventions and stuff start back up, like some of these podcast conventions, I'd like to go to some of them and maybe set up a little booth or something and have some swag to give away. And she's like, well, what would you give away? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, well, maybe you should make some shirts, or maybe you should make some whatever. And so we're trying to come up with something that, at least stuff that I could give away. I'm trying to come up with a concept, something to put my name of my channel on, or put my face on, or come up with some funny sayings to put on a shirt or put on a hat, or put on, whatever, a coffee mug or whatever. There's a lot of people doing that these days, and just stuff to help promote the show, and maybe offers giveaways sometimes and stuff like that. But I really appreciate you guys just coming along and hanging out with me, and us getting together and talking KISS and hanging out and having a beer. And I'm not having a beer right now because, like I said, I've lost 30 pounds and I've got about another 70, 80 pounds to go. So I'm drinking about 8 of these a day, drinking a lot of water and eating a lot of. Some people asked me the other day, I do have a cooking video coming out. I cooked with my wife. We made pizza that is low carb. The cheese, the crust is mostly made out of cheese, almond flour, and cream cheese. And it's so delicious. And there's a video coming out about that. And she's going to be in the video with me. She was in my Valentine's Day video with me. And she's going to be in some more cooking videos with me. She herself has lost 25 pounds. So I'm cheering her on too. And she's working out a whole lot more than I am. I'm mostly walking. I work downtown. So when I go on lunch, I'm able to walk out of my building and walk around a few blocks downtown and get in about a mile a day walking. And it's just the little things, little by little. And so that's one thing I want to do. James Dean, I appreciate that. I appreciate the donation so much, buddy. And I tell you what, anytime you guys donate to my show, or if you send me money in here, or if you send me money via Cash App or whatever, I'll put that up. If you want to send me money, Cash App. I do have a show that I need a track, a review album that I'm doing for somebody, and a track versus track that I'm doing for somebody, and those are coming. But anytime you guys send me money or a donation or whatever, it goes right back into the channel. It goes back into me paying for my streaming service that costs $25 a month. It goes into had my microphone go bad on me and I had to buy a new microphone, and recently bought a ring light, which I'm not using tonight because I don't need it. Because if I turn it on, it's like, well, yeah, it just gets, it really gets more bright than I need it to. And I've actually got it turned away from me. If I turn it towards me, it's like, see, it's like I don't need it. I don't need it that bright. But yeah, it has different colors. It can do like a blue, like a warm, and then there's without. So you see, it does help. Once it's there and you get used to it, it does help. But yeah, and that's just little stuff that I'm doing. And so anytime you guys donate anything, it always goes back into the channel. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here so you guys know how to get a hold of me. There's all of my well, I can't get that to come up. Oh well. Huh. Oh well. There it is. There it is. Took it a second. Thank you. Thanks, James. I appreciate it. Dark Light, man, there you are. It's good to see you. Dark Light says, great job. Keep it up. I've lost 15 pounds since Christmas. Yeah, I've lost 30 pounds since Christmas, and I've got about another 70, 80 to go. And me and my wife are working together doing it. Like I said, you're going to be seeing some healthy-ish videos coming from us making stuff. And hopefully, if any of you guys are looking for stuff like that to do, to eat a little healthier and still eat good food, because I'll tell you what, I will eat healthy, but I'm not going to eat food that I do not like. I am going to eat food that I like. So, CK, good to see you. What's my favorite Armored Saint album, favorite Metal Church, favorite Testament? Well, probably going to disappoint you here a little bit, CK. But I never really got into bands like that. And no fault to people who don't. But I never really got into bands like Armored Saint, Metal Church, Testament. I didn't even really get much into bands like Iron Maiden. I mean, I know Iron Maiden songs, but there's just a whole genre of there's a whole like subclass of metal and stuff that I just never really got into. It just never appealed to me. And I mean, even bands like, Judas Priest and even though a lot of people love Judas Priest, like the die-hard metal people, they love Judas Priest and those bands. But I don't know, man. It's just I never really got into bands like that. All right, guys. So it's 9:00. It is good to see all of you guys. If you're just now getting in, go back and you can watch the replay right after we get done. It's Friday night. My wife and her friends are wrapping up their crafting, so I'm going to go hang out with my wife a little bit. And I will see you guys in the next one. Go to the social media. Get in on those lists while you still have the chance. And I'll see you next Wednesday. And I'll see you Friday. And then I'll see you Monday. And then I'll see you Wednesday again. So we have a couple weeks of very busy stuff coming up. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you.